Testing your broadband. Just making sure that okay, we're now live on YouTube. Oh, yes. Back into the screen, please. Thank you. Okay, I need to set the ponies. This is a raw... Thank you, phone. This is a raw recording of a reaction. I've never done this. I've never really done this for quite a while. I've done a live recording of editing, but live recording of reaction as in these type of reactions, one viewer. Hello, one viewer. Yeah. I'm just setting up the ponies, ready for the live show. And ready for the reaction, technically. June Mobwire. I'm just... Right, doors closed. This is one of Sparrow's readings. Initiation. Hopefully I said that correctly. I haven't... This will be edited out later, but I have to make sure everything is in the right time. VAR recordings. Oh, I don't care! It's gonna be edited. It's gonna be edited. It's gonna be, oh fuck's sake. It's gonna be edited it out. It's going to be edited. It's going to be edited. Okay? Okay, what I'm going to do is making sure the video is going to play. First world problems. What is Pinkie Pie doing? Okay. Just trying to get this bloody... Do I need to start again, Sparrow? Confused title. Confused a little. I'm not sure how this is going to work. Open up, really? I'm trying to open the... I need to play the video, don't I, children? Right. Okay. Come on! Right. Okay, that's minimized down. Okay. Final checks. Just Pinkie Pie. Yeah. Okay. Sweetie Belle is armed. Well, technically not armed with a gun. Open up your eyes. Seriously? This is me.
Oh, come on!
Thank you. Now for the... What do you call it? Now for... Time for the intro. I just want to do some few tests before I do something. Okay. Done. Allow. Devices. Oh, done. Bedroom light off. Bedroom light on. Okay. We're ready for the reaction. Stand by. And Okay. Okay, let's get started. Okay, I'm going to react like I'm not seeing a chat. So, any comments will be answered by my friend called Fluttershy Play Games. Should be answering your.
Oh, come on!
Seriously, that's me doing that. Sweetie Belle is hoofed, not armed. Seriously! Right, let's get this started. Fluttershy Who Plays Games will be answering any questions that may receive. Okay. I will glance at the chat and see what questions I will answer them after the live show. That probably might be edited out though. Or might enhance my reacting experience. Okay. I'm always going to get something wrong. Oh my god. Psychology. Okay. Is it yeah. Hello. Right. Let's see. Okay. So I get a bit paranoid. Is Facebook open? It is open. Okay. Hello guys, I'm live reaction of this My Little Pony video called... No, that's wrong. Is that Darkfic? Is it Grimdark or Darkfic? It doesn't say in the video. Or the title of the video, technically. Oh, it's a dark psychology. That's the first time I've read that in the title. Okay. Time for speech. Hello guys, I'm live reaction to My Little Pony Dark Psychology video called Fucking hell. Hello guys, I'm live reaction to My Little Pony Darkfic. No. Hello guys, I'm live reaction to My Little Pony Dark Psychology video. Hello guys, I'm live reaction to this My Little. Hello guys, I'm live reaction to this My Little Pony Dark Psychology. Sounds like psychoc. Seriously. Let's do this again. Let's start this again. Hello guys, I'm live reaction with this My Little Pony Dark Psychology monthly club video. Oh, hello.
Psychological.
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 Psychological. That is a bit of a mouthful. That rhymes. Hello guys, I'm live reaction with My Little Pony Dark Psychological video. Fucking hell, shit. I'm gonna get it there. We're gonna get there. Psychological. Be quiet. Hello guys, I'm live reaction with My Little Pony Dark Psychological. Plucking out. Hello guys, I'm live reaction with My Little Pony Psychological. Hello guys, I'm live reaction with this My Little Pony Dark Psychological. Hacking. Hello guys, I'm live reaction with My Little Pony Dark Psych. Hello guys, I'm live reaction with My Little Pony Dark Psychological. This is what I gotta go with every day. Not every day. Yeah. Hello guys, I'm live reaction with My Little Pony Dark Psychological. Hello guys, I'm live reaction with My Little Pony Dark Psychological. 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 I can say it slowly. Hello guys, this time Blood Reaction with Milo Pony Psychological and Milo... Lily? Macabre, which is... Hello guys, I'm Blood Reaction with Milo Pony Hello guys, I'm Blood Reaction with Milo Pony Hello guys, it's time Blood Reaction with Milo Pony Psychological. Slow. Hello guys, I'm Blood Reaction with Milo Pony Hello guys, I'm Blood Reaction with Milo Pony Hello guys, it's time Blood Reaction with Milo Pony. Okay. Okay. Sorry, Belle. It's very sorry. Let's try this again. Hello guys, I'm Blood Reaction with Milo Pony Hello guys, come Blood Reaction with Milo Pony Hello guys, it's come Blood Reaction with Milo Pony Psychological. 2 hours later. Hello guys, I'm Blood Reaction with Milo Pony Psychological Hello guys, it's time Blood Reaction is Milo Pony Psychological Mindful Club video called Initiation. Milo Pony fanfic reading. It is 35 minutes and 15 seconds long. I would do another take of that. That was good. Hello guys, it's time for the blind reaction of this Milo Pony Psychological Mindful Club video called Initiation. Milo Pony fanfic reading. It is 35 minutes and 15 seconds long. Hello guys, I'm Blood Reaction on this Milo Pony Psychological Monthly Club video called Initiation. Milo Pony fanfic reading. It is 35 minutes and 15 seconds long. I laughed! Jesus Christ! Okay, initiation. Similar to the connected to the survey in a way. I don't know. It's more like a someone on a operating system. Is it system? It's like someone is. It's like something is on the operating table. No, it's not Granny Smith with Big Mac. You know that episode with Granny Smith on the table chopping the leg off? No? Sorry, Apple Bloom. I really am sorry. Okay. I don't know what to expect in this video. I know it's going to be dark, psychological, something behind it. I'm not sure if it's technically. Sorry, my boy, as he whistles across the screen. Scream? Sorry, my boy. Sorry, my boy, as he whistles across the screen. Yeah, that's the episode where the apple lies. Yeah, oh, you got taken for that joke. Okay. Alright. I need a drink. I haven't got one. That's not good of me. Oh, strong coffee. Right, last bit. Right. I think I need to get a drink put some water into my bottle. Okay, I will be back, guys, in the chat. Well, technically on another computer screen. Anyway. So. You have to be very careful when you go into the kitchen. You could get murdered by the creepypastas. Three, two, one. Let's get this reaction started in 3, in 2. I do again. Let's get this reaction started in 3, in 2, in 1. Thank you, phone. Let's get this reaction started in 3, in 2, in 1. Go. Mother Clobber, that's Rainbow Dash. Sparrow presents. Sparrow reads. Good piano music at the beginning.
Sweat drifted from Apple Bloom's upper brow, down her muzzle, and onto the soil of the apple orchard as she went about her daily work out in the field.
Was she bucking
Her
apples
muscles
now?
ached, and the sun's heat beat at her with a violent radiance as the luminous orb continued to shine high in the
Radiance?
sky.
That sounds like a pony's
While
name.
she took on the eastern part of the massive apple orchard, her older siblings tackled the western areas of the landscape of trees and apples.
Lots of
The
apples.
western parts were composed of more
Apples,
old and
apples,
rigid trees,
apples!
while the eastern trees were more younger and less rigid, something Apple Bloom normally had no problem with. But as she
Yeah,
had
because
grown
they
into
are
a
big. They are big
teenager,
trees, though.
she had developed quite the anticipation for helping her beloved siblings in the western parts of the orchard.
How big
Her
is the orchard,
anticipation
though?
was shot down, though, seeing the answer had always been a definitive no.
No.
However, the first time she had asked was at a much younger age than now, so she figured that maybe Applejack had a point. But over time,
How
her
old is
assumption had
Apple Bloom
grown
here, then?
into more of a frustration and curiosity. She was now 14 years old, stronger, smarter, and even more persistent than when she was a filly, searching for her place in Equestria.
Oh, come on!
She certainly was strong enough now, but still,
Hello?
the answer hadn't changed the slightest. Each attempt always ended in the same two-letter word she had grown to hate. Just the
What?
very slightest mutter of it made her grind her teeth in irritation, quickly following a blood-red face.
What's this word?
Her latest attempt to sway her older sister had been somewhat different, being less of a straight answer and more of an actual conversation explaining why she was considered unworthy. Applejack had explained that she lacked the strength to cause a force strong enough to knock the apples down from the ancient trees, but Applebloom knew that Applejack was only making an excuse. She knew her sister too
She's
well,
lying.
and knew that Applejack's duties
Applejack
as the
lies?
older sibling were clouding her
Shocker.
ability to see that Applebloom was no longer the filly she thought she was.
She's older.
Applebloom knew all too well that was
Wow.
the reason, but getting Applejack to realize that was far from simple.
Mine's been season.
Applejack was as
Mine's
stubborn
been
as
season
a
4
wild
episode
mule, and
when
her
she
actions
is
during
doing
one
the
specific
pies.
apple bucking season proved that statement true. It was only when she was
Is it
given
sack
no
apple
choice
jam or something?
that
Or sack
Applejack had
apples?
finally swallowed her pride and accepted the help she needed to get the job done. Applebloom had thought hard multiple times on some way to replicate those events all those years ago, but everything
Yeah.
she had tried had failed. No matter how much she
You-
had tried to
You
show
will
that
get
she
there.
was now
You will get
grown
there,
up,
Applebloom.
both Applejack and Big Mac had not even been swayed the slightest in return.
Oh?
Thinking about it, along with a mixture of the intense heat, sweat, and fatigue, caused Apple Bloom to express her irritation and annoyance with a violent kick to the base of one of the many trees she had been assigned.
And too many
The
McDonald's.
rounded crimson apples fell like stones from the tree's branches into the many buckets below, following a culmination of thuds from the sweet fruits colliding against one another at the end.
Can you actually kick a tree and apples fall?
Once the younger tree's branches were bald and ridden of any apples, she carried each bucket separately from the tree base to a provided wagon that would be taken
even in the
back
show,
to the
Apple Bloom is
farmhouse
actually
by
quite
Big Mac
strong to
later
leave those
on,
apples.
after work in the
Because
orchard
they are
was
heavy.
done. Apple Bloom would agree that she wasn't strong enough to carry a loaded wagon,
Oh,
but she wasn't
seriously?
fraying from her theory of being ready for the more challenging trees in the orchard,
Seriously?
and she was going to prove it.
Yes, you...
After working for 3 hours straight, the familiar sound
Right.
of a cowbell rang from the farmhouse, not far from where
Not
either
Pony
she
Bell.
or her
Is it
siblings
Grogar's
were
bell?
working in the mass of apple trees for what seemed like miles. Apple Bloom smiled, knowing what the ringing of the cowbell meant, her stomach grumbling
That's what she
at the
said.
sound. It was lunchtime, which meant 1 hour out of the heat and relaxation. Carefully and steadily, Apple Bloom made her way
I do
out
like
of the
the- I
large
do like his
orchard
artwork, though.
back to the farmhouse. Upon arrival, she was greeted by her elderly grandmare and a set table. 4 plates were placed in front of 4
It's very
separate
swift in the
chairs,
story as well.
daffodil and daisy sandwiches presented on each plate, along with apple juice as a beverage.
Apple juice.
Taking
Not
a
strawberry
seat,
juice, then.
Apple Bloom quickly dived into her meal, taking a large bite out of her sandwich and washing it down with a swig of her provided
And I'm
apple
eating
juice.
daisies.
It wasn't long
Don't eat
before her
Daisy!
siblings joined the company of herself and Granny Smith, taking a moment to bathe in the shade and catch their breath. Both of them were drenched in sweat, walking somewhat unsteady
You
from a
work-
mixture
those
of the
Apple
heat
family work too
and
hard.
the exhaustion of work.
Oh, wait.
Hey,
Hard
wait.
work sure builds up an appetite.
Taking their
Yeah.
seats, both proceeded to grabbing their own provided sandwiches and separate beverages, sitting across from their youngest sibling.
That's a good
Applejack
appetite
ate
for us,
slowly
though.
and steadily, while Big Mac, having a much larger tolerance for food, engulfed his first sandwich.
Yup.
Granny Smith had already been a step ahead of things and had prepared an additional sandwich for the robust stallion. Big Mac grabbed the sandwich and proceeded to devouring it, while both Applejack and Apple Bloom continued to nibble at their own sandwiches.
What is Big Mac's
There is
doing?
a hot one today. Them trees are as healthy as a blooming flower on the morning of spring.
There's your
Had to
criticism.
put extra effort into bucking the apples off the branches.
That's what she said.
Nevertheless, the apple should be as sweet as a honeysuckle. It's going to be a great harvest this year.
Yep.
Yup.
Applejack took another small bite out of her sandwich, while Apple Bloom swallowed her current mouthful, rolling her eyes. She had taken
Yeah.
Applejack's previous statement less as a positive one, but more as a burn.
Or negative.
While the fact that the trees were healthy was a reassurance that they wouldn't have to worry about Filthy Rich hounding them, the fact it involved the one area of the orchard Apple Bloom was forbidden to work in made it seem more like an insult in her ears.
This reminds me of Lion King,
Applejack
actually.
caught Apple Bloom rolling her eyes,
What
causing
about
her to
that,
become
what about that
confused.
shadowy place?
She quickly swallowed her food, then turned her gaze to Apple Bloom, who just sat back in her chair, expressing a fake smile that Applejack saw through without a second thought.
She can see right
Looks
through
like you're
you.
dealing a bunch, Apple Bloom.
Apple Bloom raised her eyes at the mentioning of her name,
Seriously?
continuing to hold that same fake smile, hoping that Applejack would buy it.
Now his big
She wasn't even
now she's got
convinced
to tell
by
the
it.
truth. Applebee's got to tell the
Seemed
truth
that
as
her
well.
current tactic wasn't working. Apple Bloom just responded with a tone that came out as a mild anger, but slowly grew more and more as she went on.
Go on.
Oh, I
Let-
don't know, Applejack. Why don't you keep on bragging on and on about the one part of the orchard that you know I've been asking about for the past countless years?
What's
Apple Bloom
behind?
begun,
What's beyond the
capitalizing
orchard?
her words with a glare that stung Applejack like a hornet. Applejack immediately knew what Apple Bloom was referring to, having dealt with this endeavor more than once.
It's something dark
I
down
already
there.
told you why you can't, Apple Bloom. It's
Why not?
Because you're too young and young hooves aren't strong enough to take on those trees.
Those
No,
trees!
I've heard that same speech too many times to count.
Ah.
She quickly followed by planting one hoof hard on the table, having grown tired of hearing that same speech.
I've been barking these trees just as long as you and Big Man.
Language!
I'll know where to hit, where the bases need to be placed to catch the apples, and where to take them after. I'm not a baby anymore, Applejack.
No, she's not a baby anymore.
Stronger now.
Oh, come on!
I'm ready. I know I am.
The sudden outburst made the table grow quiet and had made all of the ponies present jump in surprise.
Is Applejack going to feel sorry
Appleblum's face
now?
had grown so red that it could have mirrored a red apple itself, and her eyes were teary and bulged, nearly to the size of the plate in front of her.
Whatever you do, don't
It took a moment for the storm
Brayburn.
to clear at the picnic table. The unbelievable amount of unease and pressure at the table had caused a momentary pause. No pony moved. No pony spoke. No pony breathed.
No pony said
All
anything.
except Applebloom, who had slumped back into her seat with her front legs crossed in a fit of
Thank
anger.
you!
Applejack had seen her younger sister
Sweet belt.
angry before, but never had she seen her this upset. In all the years of Applebloom's silly and reckless tactics to get her cutie mark, she had never gotten this upset, and that was saying something. Applebloom broke the silence again.
Y'all have been holding me back because you think I'm too young and weak. I'm 14 years old and growing. I'm more than capable of tackling
She doesn't
the
look 14 there,
and while I
though.
appreciate your concern, I'm not a baby anymore.
She's a
Applebee's,
teen,
that's
technically.
not what we think.
Is it? You've been treating me like a baby even after I got my cutie mark. You know, and I know full well that I've been ready for years, Applejack. So prove that you don't think I'm a baby and give me a chance to prove it.
Applejack
You want a chance to
froze.
prove yourself.
Applebloom had hit the nail right on the head, and there was nothing she could say in retort, knowing whatever
No.
followed would be a lie. She took a moment to think heavily about Applebloom's words, until she finally realized that she had indeed been holding her younger sibling back from even having a chance to prove herself, her sisterly instincts being the culprit. Knowing Applebloom was right, she decided
That's
to
what
sympathize
Dumbledore
with the
did with
Crusader,
Harry, actually.
giving her a smile
Not
of
giving
reassurance.
giving him crucial
You really think
information.
you're ready?
More than ready.
Applejack stood up from her
Because,
seat and walked around to where
Dumbledore cared
Applebloom
for
sat.
Harry too much.
The young Crusader wasn't sure about what was going on, so she just sat motionless. Applejack followed by putting out one of her
Let's
hooves,
key in the key
holding
phrase
out
and make it
to Applebloom.
unmotionless. Make it more motion.
Alright,
Sorry.
then let's see for sure if you are. Come on. I'll take you to the tree I was chosen to prove my worth on.
Applebloom paused, her expression falling from angry to happy with a small hint of confusion.
I
you
accept your
You're right.
decision.
I've been holding you back for some time now, and
You
I
have.
apologize for not seeing that sooner.
Oh,
So,
she
as a
apologized.
way
Well
to make
done.
up for it,
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you a chance to prove if you're ready or not for the task.
Task.
Applejack confessed, holding her Stetson to her chest. Applebloom smiled, trying her hardest not to sprint in excitement that at long last she had gotten it through her sister's head that
She's-
she had not even been giving her a chance. At the sound of Applejack's last
It's not going to be that
statement,
easy, though,
a
is it?
slight tinge of curiosity developed in Applebloom's head.
Curiosity killed the pony.
Last call for Applebloom to the apple orchard.
Applejack mimicked,
You've forgotten
causing
the
Applebloom to
intercom.
giggle in her slight daze of happiness.
Ding dong.
Not sure whether or not this was a dream. Shaking her head and breaking from the daze, Applebloom took Applejack's hoof in hers, and as sisters, hoof and hoof, took their leave from the
Thank you,
farmhouse
sweet belt.
deep into the apple orchard.
Deep into how big is it though? Change the scene.
The trot into the orchard seemed like hours for Applebloom, when in reality, it had only been about 20 minutes or so. The area the two had traveled into was much more shaded, and to Applebloom, seemed slightly eerie, unlike any other area
I was about to
she was
say that.
usually
It doesn't
accustomed
seem
to working in.
welcome.
The trees seemed more desolate, moist, and in some way alive. It made her feel uneasy and jumpy at the slightest sound. In an attempt to ease her nerves, Applebloom tucked closer to her sister, feeling as if she were being watched amongst the desolate region by unseen eyes. It was as if she were being spectated on a stage in the heart of a spotlight.
Someone is
A
spying on
feeling
you.
she didn't like, given the circumstances. Applejack noticed this and stopped. She had expected this, seeing she had done the same thing when she too was taken by Granny Smith to the same tree to be tested all those years ago.
Test it.
She turned back to her younger sibling. Her face was pale, her body was shaking in fear, and her eyes expressed unease and terror. Applejack planted
Is
her
she
rear on
scared
the
of the
ground,
dark then?
facing Applebloom with a smile. Applebloom raised her head to meet Applejack's gaze, her eyes full of warmth and reassurance, as she too planted her rear on the ground.
I'm sorry, Applejack.
You ain't got nothing to be sorry for.
No.
It's okay to be afraid. I was the same exact way when Granny took me.
Applebloom raised an eyebrow,
I'm afraid
unsure
of fear,
how to
actually.
feel.
Really?
Really?
Applejack responded by nodding her head.
I was scared out of my wits, but Granny assured me that it was okay to be afraid. After
Yeah,
all,
it is
it was
okay to
somewhere
be
I'd
afraid.
never been before. Therefore, any young'un would be terrified of the unknown.
Applejack's words caused
What
Applebloom
is
to slowly
that?
feel better and
What is that
reassured.
stuff coming out of Apple?
A smile slowly began to form, feeling Applejack put a hoof on her shoulder.
If you start to get scared, just say something and we'll stop, alright?
Or wait for the old
All
commands.
Oh, Will.
Applebloom answered, doing her best to smile in the midst of the unknown. Applejack smiled back and kissed her sister on the forehead, turning back in the direction of wherever they were going. Applebloom took her sister's words to heart and swallowed any sort of fear or doubt into the pit of her stomach. However, despite her attempts of ridding herself of her fear, her sense of paranoia and unease
What is that stuck
remained
in her
as they
coming-
trotted deeper and deeper into the orchard.
Is it the trotting
Passing
dead?
the many apple trees, Applebloom noticed that their branches were bald of any fruit. She quickly assumed that the trees had just been bucked earlier, but her mind said otherwise, seeing it
The
had
trees
taken
are
a
dead.
long while to get this far, and if Applejack and Big Mac worked out in this area, they would have taken longer
She
to
looks,
get back
yeah, she
to the
does
barn.
look scared though, doesn't
That
she?
is, if they could have even heard the cowbell from this far out. Applebloom found herself constantly turning her head at the smallest sound, from a twig being snapped to the creaking of the tree branches, which at times sounded as if the trees were speaking to each other, judging her on why she was
So
out
this
here.
is like a
It had been
over
an hour
over
by
three
now,
forest
and
times
the young crusader
version
had
2 or
become
something.
slightly scared once again, tempting her to stop Applejack again. But she wanted to show her sister that she was strong, so she just did her best to ignore her fears.
Hearts are strong as horses.
The farmhouse was no longer within view, and the area had become remote and alien. Never had Applebloom imagined that their orchard expanded this far, nor that area like this
I know.
existed. Applebloom
It's
couldn't
like the Apple
explain
family
it,
doesn't have a lot of
but
money,
everything about
but
this
they
place
had this
seemed
orchard.
unusual and somewhat unnatural.
This orchard didn't come
Even
cheap,
the
did
dirt
it?
felt different. Along with that, she swore that she could feel the ground move in the rhythm of a regular heartbeat beneath her hooves, but assumed that to only be her own heartbeat.
Okay, pause there. Where am I getting the feedback from? Okay. Okay. Let me just take... I'll turn my phone off then. How's it now? I've turned my phone off now. Test audio 1 2 1 2 3 4. Okay, that is interference from the phone. I know that. But is it okay now? I'm good, okay. Okay. Mailbot's still audible. Well, the phones have been turned off, so it shouldn't really cause problems now. Okay. Okay, we're going to go back to the audio. Okay. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
Hearing it reverberate in her ears and pound in her chest.
Your ears are vibrating?
Every fiber of her being was telling her to not proceed any further. But she didn't want to disappoint her big sister, so she
I don't know what those leaves are doing.
Her poker face as blank as a stone.
It just looks a bit wrong.
However, her fear
I'm not gonna
never
say
dissipated. She wanted to run away from this place, go back to the farmhouse, and to join her grandparent and brother.
Are you going to find an elephant graveyard?
But wherever in Celestia's name she was now.
How much farther is this train, Applejack?
Not much further, Apple Bloom. Be patient, little sis. Trust me, it'll be worth it.
Patience is a virtue after all.
Silence followed. They
The
walked another 2
sound
miles,
of silence.
or at least that's what Apple Bloom estimated, until they finally came to a stop in front of a tall and wide tree,
you get this art commission
massive
for the-
in size. It had no top due to it being too
Did
tall
you get
to
this
see
art
where
commission
its
for this
very top
reading?
came to an end.
You
At
see,
its
she matched
base
pretty
were
well.
imprints of back hooves embedded into the ancient wood. Apple Bloom stood stunned at the sight, immediately noticing
something
something
is
about
evil
the
over
tree
the orchard
that
in
was
this
different
part.
from the other surrounding trees. The most obvious was the color of its branches.
Well,
Unlike the other trees, whose branches were brown, the branches of this tree were black. Not to mention that
It's
the
dead
longer
then.
Apple Bloom examined the branches, they didn't seem like regular branches. More like tendrils laced with some sort of white, hair-like draping. The one specific thing about the tree that made Apple Bloom
it
shudder,
seems
though,
like the tree's going
was
to come
the fact
alive.
that she had never seen the tree before, and its size should have made it stick out like a sore hoof.
That's what she said.
Something about it made Apple Bloom quiver as she watched her sister approach the tree's base.
This here
That's-
is the oldest tree ever planted in the orchard. It's been here since before Equestria was ever founded, and Granny Smith,
That
along
long?
with the other settlers, found Ponyville.
Many questions sprouted in Apple Bloom's mind immediately,
these
along
has
with the cold
always
shiver that
existed
slowly
then.
slithered from her neck to her flank, bringing a sense of discomfort with it.
Thank you, a bit late. Yeah.
She wanted to move, but was frozen in place, unable to speak or turn her sight away from the tree.
This is where
Those-
all the ponies who ever had a hoof in creating this massive landscape of apple trees were initiated into the task of caring for the oldest trees. It's a task for only the strong and willing, not for the weak and unwilling. If you are able to leave an imprint on the most ancient tree to ever be planted on these grounds, you are ready to take on the task, as only those with the strongest of hooves can handle the job. If
But
you
there's
shall
no
fail,
apples on it,
you will
though.
never be ready. The tree only judges you once. There are no second chances.
It's the sorting tree.
I'll only ask once. Do you truly think you are ready, Apple Bloom?
Apple Bloom took a moment to absorb and analyze the words fully. She only had one chance to prove her worth? Had
Yes.
Applejack and Big Mac done
I
this
wonder if it's
investigation
a
as
sad
well
tree or a
and
happy
succeeded? One look at the tree answered her question, seeing two pairs of hoofs that matched those
Who
of her
wakes
big
me
brother
from my
and
slumber?
sister. She pondered on maybe waiting a few more years, seeing the confidence she had originally had disappeared. Only when she was read the conditions
Even
and given
I think
the yes
even
or no
adults
question
on
that she
Pony
didn't
might
expect,
have
did she realize
struggled this
just
part
what
of it.
she was getting herself into. Was she truly ready to care for the older trees? She honestly
They look
didn't
dead
know,
though.
seeing the pressure of the situation was clouding her judgment. She thought quickly, thinking about what would happen if she didn't try. She would have come all this way for nothing, and would probably shame herself for not even trying in the aftermath. She could wait longer, but in that moment,
No.
that seemed like an option that made her look weak to her entire family. She was an apple. Apple bucking was in her blood. And if she failed, no, she wouldn't fail. Despite
You got
the creepy
this.
atmosphere
We got this
and
together.
any questions
Well,
she
technically
had,
on your own,
and
yeah.
all of her senses screaming at her to get out of there. Apple Bloom's pride made it all seem like nothing but excuses not to even try.
I'm ready.
Bright and
Applejack
early.
smiled, gesturing Apple Bloom to join her at the base of the ancient tree. Apple Bloom did as her sister directed, and
It
walked
can't remember
until
on
she
the
was at her
episode when
sister's
she's
side,
delivering pies, actually.
smiling herself.
Then pick a spot and buck the tree with every bit of your might.
There's no
Remember,
apples.
The tree only judges you once, so you only have one chance to prove yourself worthy.
What happens if you
Don't hold
fail?
back any bit of anything. Give it your all.
With that last statement said, Applejack moved away from the tree, standing in front of Apple Bloom with a look of assurance. There was no turning back now. So
No,
Apple Bloom picked a bald
'cause they might
spot
kill
along
you.
the tree's surface, got into position, and with every bit of strength concentrated into her back legs, she kicked back against the tree. Her hooves made contact, and in that split second of impact, Apple Bloom suddenly felt as if the tree had told her its entire history. She felt the tree's textures and the age of the wood. The vibrations vibrating throughout her back legs and her entire body connected with the tree.
That's
And
good
Apple
though,
Bloom
isn't it?
suddenly felt like she could tell where each and every tree in the orchard was, their ages, how many apples each individual one had produced, and
What?
all of the ponies that had bucked them. It was
That's
a
what
feeling
she
that Apple
said.
Bloom couldn't explain, and it felt as if time itself had stopped in that sudden moment, even though it was only a split second of time itself.
Yeah. Okay.
The tree was strong and as sturdy as anything Apple Bloom could have imagined.
It's an old
And
tree
as soon
though.
as her hooves left the tree, reality manifested upon her
Maybe
gaze
I'm
once more.
flaking of the tree as well.
She didn't dare look back, and waited for Applejack to say something instead,
No,
but
she's
silence only followed. She could only guess that meant she had to confirm it herself.
not there. How
So
do
she
you confirm
turned to
it?
the tree, gulping hard, as she saw the result.
What was the
Two small
result?
imprints in the tree's surface, in the area she had chosen. A smile spread across Apple Bloom's face as she turned to her sister, also sharing a smile.
You're
What did the
ready.
tree say?
Apple Bloom would
Ready?
have followed with a burst
Ready?
of happiness,
Ready for what though?
but that happiness was short-lived.
Oh,
Feeling
what the
something
fuck?
grip her back legs and begin to drag her back towards the tree.
The trees are alive.
Apple
What did
Bloom
I
kicked
say?
and struggled to get free, yelling for Applejack to save her, but the mare only continued to smile and cry. Apple Bloom turned, only to see that the culprit for her sudden turmoil was the branches of the tree itself. Like sharp tendrils, they gripped at her limbs tightly as she continued to plead for Applejack to help her. but the mare just stood.
You're going to be part. You're going to be part of the tree, aren't you?
Don't fight it, Apple Bloom. It's all part of the initiation. You get to go through a cleansing.
Devil's
Apple Bloom couldn't believe what she was hearing, continuing to fight
Devil's
the
snare.
tendrils with her full might. But her strength faltered
if you
quickly,
struggle, it will kill
and
you
the
faster.
tendrils lifted her high
Just
from the ground.
calm. Just
Her front
relax.
and back legs were suspended, while another slinked into her mouth, holding her upper and lower jaw so that her mouth was wide open. Apple Bloom was unable to talk or even mutter a sound, as a much thinner twig slithered from her vision into her mouth and down her throat.
Ugh.
Apple Bloom gagged and cried, feeling the thin tendril slither throughout her entire body. As it navigated her small body,
Relax.
a burning sensation followed it, feeling as if the areas the twig
Relax.
had successfully slithered through
You need to
were
relax,
on
though.
fire. She continued to cry and prayed to Celestia that whatever was happening was just a horrible nightmare, and that Luna would wake her up any second. But the pain was too realistic to be a dream or a nightmare. The burning continued as she felt the twig slither, feeling as if a whole tree had sprouted in her body and
It
was
looks like
growing
the
at
trees
a
have got
rapid pace,
hands.
spreading through every limb and organ until it found either an exit or stopped on its own. It wasn't long
It's a
before
magic
branches
tree!
began to protrude from both her ear canals and anywhere else the branches could escape. Apple Bloom just continued to loathe in the agony, feeling that burning sensation everywhere, along with the hurt
it's like a
in her
stretching
heart,
sort. Is it going to
staring
stretch
at
the
her
body or
sister
something?
with tear-filled eyes of terror. Finally, after what felt like forever to the young crusader, the branches stopped growing. The burning continued at a constant pace as she saw Applejack step forward.
Oh, the
still
Applejack is
holding
smiling
that
like there's
twisted
something's
smile.
happening.
Apple Bloom tried to make some sort of remark, but the branches forbidded it.
I know it hurts, Sugar Cube, but just let it happen. It's all part of the initiation.
Apple Bloom
Cleansing.
could only look at her sister with terror.
This is
as
actually
she
quite
continued
brutal,
to
actually.
explain.
I know it all seems horrible right now, but
It
trust
is
me,
horrible.
it'll all be over faster than you think.
Really?
Just like a butterfly, you're going to be put into a cocoon for a while. But don't worry,
What?
it's just like taking a nap. When you wake up, you'll be a whole new pony.
A sea
Suddenly,
pony.
the branches that held Apple Bloom steady began to protrude what looked like white hairs, but it quickly became clear to Apple Bloom that she was being sealed in the cocoon Applejack had mentioned. She tried and struggled so hard to break free from her prison, but it was useless. She was
What are you going to be
trapped.
turning it into, though?
She couldn't scream, plead, or yell for help, as the hair-like material began to enclose her and protrude inside of her body. The hairs tickled
Make sure you can
the
breathe, though.
inside of her
Hopefully you can
organs,
breathe in the
making her feel like she was going to be sick.
Bloody hell.
The hairs continued to grow and close around her, as Applejack said something that made her heart shatter.
What?
I need to get back to Granny and Big Mac now.
Don't leave her!
Wait to tell them the good news. I'll be checking in on you.
How's
to make
this
sure
good
you're okay.
news?
For now, just close your eyes and sleep. When you wake up, you'll be back home safe and sound.
Apple Bloom
I don't know
could
if I'll
only
trust you,
stare
but-
in horror as her sister, the one who was
Should I-
supposed to protect her, left her to be entombed by the tree. She felt heartbroken and betrayed as she was lifted higher into the ancient tree by the branches. The hairs continued to grow inside of
This
her
could happen
as she
to-
closed her tear-filled eyes.
Well, give it a
feeling as
Fluttershy!
if a moist ball
I
of
know she's
hair
my favourite
was
pony. She'd
choking
like to be a tree after all.
The hairs escaped from her body as she watched in horror. The hairs extract a thick, sticky liquid colder than ice from their tendrils. The
Ugh.
liquid burned her body like she was on fire. Noticing that the liquid
What
was
liquid's this?
solidifying, sealing her in it like one of those hard candies she had purchased from Ponyville's candy store.
Reminds me
It
of
took only seconds before she was sealed
Lord of
from
the
head
Rings.
to hoof, and
with
in
the
an
spider
attempt
scene
to escape
and the
the
web.
horror, she closed her eyes.
Is that a good idea? Is that a good idea to close your eyes? Close your eyes. Okay. And?
Apple Bloom's eyes peeked open, her eyes opening to a new sunny day. The aroma of freshly made pancakes filled the room as she took a moment to take in her surroundings. She was in her bed. She was in her room. She was alive. Her heart pounded in her chest, sweat coated her forehead,
Has she
and her
changed
breath
though?
rapidly cycled from the severity of the nightmare she had just experienced.
It was
She
real
had been
though.
taken hostage by a tree, and Applejack had done nothing to stop it.
That wasn't tremendous
But
though.
that's all it was. Just a terrible nightmare. Calming
Uh,
herself, Apple Bloom
was
let
it?
out a relieved sigh, then got out of her bed. Her stomach grumbled at the scent of the pancakes as she combed her mane and adjusted her bow. With one last look
What she
in
look
the
like?
mirror, Apple Bloom turned away and steadily made her way from her room to the kitchen. Present were the same company she saw every morning, her siblings and grandmare. At the first sign of Apple Bloom's arrival, Applejack expressed a warm smile.
Welcome back, Sugar Cube.
Looks like some pony slept well.
I guess you could say that.
Well, that's great to
I
know.
couldn't
The best
say
place for
it
your
was a
buckle,
dream
Sugar Cube.
because I don't know.
What's the rush?
Well, Granny and I had a little chat last night,
Oh,
and we've decided that you are ready to start helping Big Mac and I on the far side of the orchard. You've grown up enough, and y'all
She
are
does
ready
look
to take
older
on
than
the
though.
more tough trees.
Apple Bloom shuddered for just the slightest second. She thought back to the nightmare, the tree, the whore, the
scary, yeah.
initiation. Had it all really been a nightmare? Was this sudden promotion just a complete coincidence?
And Granny Smith looks even
She
older.
thought hard and long for a few seconds until she was interrupted.
Oh,
You okay, Sugar Cube?
no.
Yeah. Just a little overwhelmed, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure some pancakes and hard work will make all that go away.
With no other solution, Apple Bloom just replied with a nod of her head,
Thank you, Sweetbo.
then proceeded to eating pancakes with her family, awaiting her new job out
Where's
in
the
the
cherry on
orchard
the pancake,
to
though?
come afterwards.
Why is it like... Oh, hello. Cast. Romance writer, Apple Bloom. Applejack. Big Mac. Good artwork, actually. Happy Horrors. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna go last screen. Okay. Okay, that was Mother Clubber into. Okay, that's Mother Clubber into. Okay, that was Mother Clubber Initiation, My Little Pony fanfic reading, dark psychological reading. Okay. Very different story I'm used to, because in a sense it wasn't a killing, or was it a killing in terms of, is it the same Apple Bloom at the end of the story? Is it an...
Oh, come on!
Thank you, Sweetbell, thank you. Is it the is it the same Apple Bloom? Apple Bloom. She did look older at the end of the story, though. To tell the truth, she did look older. One thing, it could be a dream, and it was.
Oh, come on!
It could. It could be a dream. Oh, hello. it could be a dream, but at the same time, it could not be. It might not be a dream that the tree actually teleported Apple Bloom to her bed, as such. Yeah, that's mine. Just have a doom and gloom feel
Oh,
to it.
come on!
Oh, God. Hi, thank you. But the thing is that but the thing is about the trees, they do look like they didn't have any apples. Basically, it's a tree that tests your skill, your might. Test your might. I want to know what those sticky bits. That sounds so wrong. What's those sticky bits on it, the liquid? Was she actually a was she actually a cocoon? And how long between get from the cocoon stage to going back to the nobody? Yeah, was it a nightmare or not a nightmare? I don't. That's this can leave people with questions like, was it a dream or was not a dream? Back to the trees. No, I expect it was more in between. It could be a sad tree or a happy tree. But the thing is, if you failed the test, are you in a worse state than you were? If you failed the test, what will happen to that pony? Do you become the tree? Which is a very dark thought, which was actually based on the episode. Health of Information. Or are you still teleported back as you were, but you can only take that test once, and if you fail, you will doom to misery. It's a sort of thing. It's the unknown that people fear. That's even in Harry Potter as well. It's the unknown that people fear. And it was like, it's basically like the leap of faith. Just do it. You don't know what will happen. The elder tree. Yeah, and was it a cloak of invisibility in there as well? Anyway, what was those white bits on the actual tree? I'm not gonna say what it reminds me of because it's yeah, it looked like liquid, not actual leaves. And this is a very they kept this from happening for so long, and it is like the devil's snare in the terms of don't struggle, just let it take your legs, and everything be okay. And the thing is, if she struggled even more, she would end up in a worse state than she was. So just to relax her body and let the tree do its thing. And if she failed, you just fell in love. You wouldn't be able to prove yourself. like Sips and Snails. I don't know if Sips and Snails ever really became. Sorry, I'm not talking Echo. I'm not sure if if we put this through Sips and Snails, they'll fail miserably. Bloody hell.
Oh, come on!
Right. I could hopefully put it over there. It just seems always say we don't know. We don't know about this tree. It should be on the X-Files. Believe or unbelieve? That is the question. Do you believe it or don't believe it? It's basically like UFOs. Do you believe in it or do you don't believe in it? Not less mustard. Do you believe or not believe it is? But people are willing to search it. Or search the paranormal, for example. Reminds me of is it the other story? Like, with the well? Is that a sparrow reading? I can't remember. That's a while back. Or is it? I don't know, is that a sparrow reading? With the well? And it always seems to be apple bloom as well when it comes to stories like this. It always seems to be about apple bloom or about the CMCs. Especially, is it Avon one? I'm sure there's about 4 sparrows reading, which turns into like a grimdark sort of thing. Can't remember which one it was. You got one with the Grogar, haven't you? You got the one with the Grogar. Yeah, you got the one with the Grogar one. That's even before we knew about Grogar, really. Yeah. Right. Water. I'm just checking my phone because someone's tagged me in a post. Okay. Yeah, it's quite an old reading, isn't it? The well. Alright, just gonna check my emails and I go back to reacting. I'll be ending the show in a minute as well. Come on. I watched the well on your video. let's get back to reacting. Overall, this story, it was good. I do love the artwork. It makes you question what is real, what is not real. What is the Matrix and what is not the Matrix. Sorry, Upper Bloom. Really am sorry. And it just makes you. It actually makes you question. Is these things that. It does make you question, like, what is true, what is based on a lie, what is reality. But that's how fairy tales. That's how fairy tales and myth and legends are created. But it's based on, when it comes to legends, it's based on a true story that happened, and it's been changed ever so slightly to make it different, and it turns into a myth, like the ring, like in Lord of the Rings. Legend became myth. Myth became, I've forgotten how it goes. Like, legend became myth. Myth became something, and some things I've forgotten or something. I've forgotten how it goes. And it just takes one to search it. But it is a beautiful way to. Okay. It is a beautiful way as well to prove yourself. She could have died from it, actually. She could have actually died if she weren't careful. Well, overall, that was a good story. Hopefully, like this reaction and more reaction videos I do, and I will do that again. I wasn't. Overall, that was a good story. I want to see more stories like this. Actually, I like stories that makes you question what is really true. Like, do I believe it or not? Especially when you see things in your own eyes. Did I really just witness that? Or was that a figure of my imagination? Imagination. Well, hope you like this reaction and all my reaction videos I do, and I will see you next time. Oh, yes. Okay. End of the reaction, guys. Open the... If you've got any questions for me, leave them in the comments below. This will be edited out anyway. This is just for the live show for fun. And if you want to see, like, if you do want me to see more live shows of me doing reactions, sort of thing. I could do this, or I could do like behind the scenes videos again. I like doing behind the scenes videos. He's always on a. There's always a delay, isn't there? Yeah, because I reacted to one of Sparrow's readings when he started getting into YouTube. I was one of his first viewers, really. And I was part of the Unmarked as well, which explains Apple Bloom. Apple Bloom, who are you speaking to? $20 mic. That's still quite a lot. That's like a standing price for a mic. More live. 7th of March now. I might have money up. How much is it? That's not too bad. Oh, did I just see it on the page? This is the microphone I got. It's a Bang Winner C1 Studio condenser microphone. It is on sale at the moment for £25.20p. How much did I pay for it? I paid $24.25. Yeah, because I bought this mic. The first time I bought this mic, I didn't have a mixer. It's always YouTube or any live show you do. Really, there's always be a delay. Even watching TV, there's always about a second or two delay. Anyway, this is the microphone. The first time I bought.
Oh, come on!
Reborn. Yeah, the first. When I bought this when I bought this microphone for the first time, I didn't have a mixer, so I wasn't aware. I was getting new to having a microphone. I didn't know you need phantom power. You needed phantom power. I didn't know you needed something to produce the phantom power, like a mixer. But for the money, I don't know how much I paid for it when I first bought it. Because I asked for I think I got it when it was about £47. I got it when it was about £47-ish. And it was still quite new, I believe. When did this come out? When did this microphone came out? It should tell you. It came available 2006. So I came in 2013, so it was like a new microphone. Let's go back to my orders. Probably I'll find out when I last bought it. Oh, we are going back quite a while. Well, these were stuff up even before I got my Burning Man. 2014. I could upgrade my microphone. Back in, yeah, and that story's been vamped recently. Yeah, this is. That's my first cable. That's my first microphone, which was not the best. Very what's the word? Tingy in its audio. Especially if it's got a metal shell, it tends to vibrate a bit. Yes, I bought it when it was £30, £35. That was back in 2014. But I was so new to producing content still. When I was getting to upgrade the mic, I didn't understand the quality of them. I don't. You know what I mean? As the microphone, it's pretty hard to know what microphone to get sometimes, especially when you're new to the business. When I produce my readings using a snowball, yet I'm making. Yeah. Yeah, it's all about the settings at the end of the day, especially because you're using the microphone for readings. I'm doing it for just basically making videos. And if I was doing like a line for someone, I will clean out the audio. I could tell you about my bloody outtakes in the Unmarked. Yeah. Shut that car alarm, please! Waiting for the car to move his fucking arse. Okay. I haven't. Best videos I come across was 360 videos. Yeah, those cameras are expensive though. Those 360 videos or 360 things are not cheap. They're not cheap at all. You can get cheaper ones, but let's search it actually. 360 cam. Don't put 4K. £411. 421. 130, which is not too bad. 411, 175.
Oh, come on!
Thank you. That'd be good for Bascon actually. That's not a bad price. I will add that to my wish list actually. That's something to think about anyway. Yeah. Hello. That would be a good investment actually, getting a 360 microphone camera. Oh, we'll look into it actually. We'll look into it. I don't know if I get money before the con. That'd be good. That'd be good for San Francisco. I have to see how my finance is. I have to see how my finance is for that video. Okay, I'll be ending the live stream soon. Have you got any last questions before I leave? Have you got any questions before I leave? Before I leave, yeah. Any questions? Because I will be ending the show in a minute.
Oh, come on!
We've got no questions. I will end the show, so bye. Oh, I just realised I got to download it from YouTube after it's downloaded. Because I got to edit the... Okay. That's alright. It's not saving to the PC. That's fine. It's saving to YouTube at least. Okay guys, I'm going to end the live show. Hopefully, if you want... Fluttershy Plays Games or wants me to do more of these live shows. We will see. For basic reactions, I probably won't do it, especially if it's small reactions. But for readings like this, when it's about 30 minutes or longer, I'll probably do a live show. I'll probably do more live shows like this before. I'll probably do more live shows if it's a bigger reading. I used to do it for the season reactions, but we were watching it live, which made it even difficult when it comes to the internet. Yes. Well, hope you like this reading. Hello. Okay. Well, hope you like this reading and all my readings I'll do. Reading reactions, technically. I will see you next time, and thank you for watching. Oh, yes.